Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going over the watch list for Wednesday, January 18th. I put these watch lists out for you guys for free every single day. I put out daily watch lists, weekly swings, monthly swings, quarterly swings, all to help you guys out. This strategy that we teach here is by far the easiest that you will ever come across. So there's no real indicators. We don't use RSI, we don't use MACD, we don't use crossing EMA lines. We use strictly the candlesticks, and each candlestick tells a story, and that's what we're looking for. We're just looking to, fulfill that story that candlestick is telling us. So you're going to learn about that today. You're going to learn about that in this channel. There's 350 plus videos for you guys to learn how to trade exactly how I trade every single day using this strategy. So a couple things before we get started. This screen that you see here, this is TradingView. So I would recommend you have something like this. If you want to try TradingView, there's a link in the description. That link will give you a free 30-day trial to TradingView to their subscription-based services. And then if you decide to actually go ahead and use those services, you'll get up to $30 off of that membership. There is a free version. I use the Pro Plus. It works really well for me, but you guys have the option to choose which one you would like to try for your free 30 days. So make sure you take advantage of that offer. I have a Discord. You guys can join that for free as well. That link is in the description. And part of that Discord, it is free. 95% of it's free. There is a portion of it that's paid room. It's $50 a month, or you buy 2 months, you get the third month free. And it gives you the top 5 from these watch lists every single day. The 5 plays that I think are going to do the best. It gives you a 1-hour course on this strategy. So it takes you right from the beginning to the end. It's 1 hour, really informative, really easy to follow along with. It gives you live trades during the day. There's live trading bots for SPY, QQQ, Tesla, CCL, DIA, and a bunch of other ones. So that comes as part of the membership. You get one-on-ones with me through Google Meets or Zoom or whatever. But one-on-one time with me to help you guys if you're really, really struggling, or if you need specific questions answered, or you need to go through anything. So go check it out. Everything that I offer for free or fee-based is in that Discord. Let's get started on this list, guys. We're going to start with SPY, and I'll give you a heads up. Anytime there's a setup on SPY, because I do trade SPY most of the time, that's my go-to. Now, anytime SPY has a setup, anytime NEO has a setup, because NEO has really, really big moves to the upside or downside. So I really like to play NEO. So anytime we have that, those two will be on the top 5. So we have SPY and NEO with setups today. I'm telling you right now, those will be on the top 5. The other thing I want to tell you guys, if you've been following me and you're struggling with these day setups, hop down to the smaller time frames, okay? You can see which direction these things are going, but then hop down to a 30-minute and set your triggers and targets there. Or hop down to a 15-minute and set your triggers and targets there. And then go manage it on a smaller time frame. I had somebody in the room just about probably 10 minutes ago asking me, how do you find those 2-2 reversals that are high probability setups? Well, you can take a 2-2 reversal on anything, but what I like to see is the time frame continuity in our favor. So for sure the hourly and the daily, and anything after that, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, and the yearly, they're all bonuses. So what I mean by that is just outside of the hourly and the daily, anything other than those two that are, and this is for, when we're going into a day trade for a 15-minute trade or a 30-minute trade or whatever it is, the more that we have in our favor of the trade, the higher probability that trade works out. You could have this, let's say this is a 30-minute chart, and let's say we're looking for this to trend to the downside. Well, we've got the hourly, the daily, and the weekly in our favor, okay? So that's a good thing. But if this was the opposite and these were all green, well, then I wouldn't be taking a reversal to the downside. I would wait for that to come down, and then I would look for the reversal back to the upside, if you guys understand that. So guys, again, if this information is helpful, make sure you're helping me out. Give me a thumbs up down below. And if you have questions, you can ask them down below. You can ask me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold or in the Discord. So let's actually go through these setups now. I said we don't use indicators. We do use certain things. We call them indicators, but it's not RSI and it's not MACD. It's time frame continuity, this right here. It's the candlestick numbers. If I have these on here in case you guys don't know what a 1, a 2, and a 3 is. I leave them on here. Now, I have a Strat indicator that I've created. It's part of the membership, or you can buy it separately. but it includes this time frame. It includes these candlestick numbers. It includes these 1 or inside bars painted yellow, same with the outside bars, or 3 bars painted white, plus the 50% rules, Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rules. And it has a bunch of other really good stuff that will help you guys out. All the Strat indicators wrapped into one indicator for you guys, so you only have one indicator for your chart. Now, SPY had this 2 up that it finished red, so I call that a failed 2 because it didn't finish green. Okay, so when we have that 2 up and it finishes red, that gives me a higher probability that we're going to trend back to the downside on the next candle. Does it mean we are for sure? No, but the probabilities tell us that they're higher than it not happening. So the thing I want to mention is we trade based off of probabilities. Every trade, every strategy that's taken, every strategy that's out there is based off of probabilities because nobody knows what this next candlestick is going to do on Wednesday morning. Nobody knows. Okay, so, but probability would tell us we have a 2 up that finished red. We have an hourly, a daily, and a weekly that are red. So that would tell me that probabilities are fairly high that we are going to trend back to the downside. So we can look for puts on this thing when we're talking options with a trigger price of 397.06. That's not our strike price. Our strike price, I'd be looking for a 396, maybe a 395 strike price. That's the way I do it, and I take closest expiry. Now, SPY expires every single day of the week. It used to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now it's every single day. So you don't have to do that. You can take a Wednesday expiry, a Thursday expiry, a Friday expiry. You can take 1 week out, okay? Gives you a little bit more grace if the trade goes against you. But we'll look for that trigger at 397.06, and the first target has good magnitude down to 393.34, meaning there's a lot of room for it to move from this trigger to this target, okay? So the next one we're going to go to is NEO. I already told you NEO will be on the top 5. We have a 2 down that finished green. So I'm going to call this another failed 2 because it didn't finish red, it finished green. We have full time frame continuity pointing back to the upside. So we can look for our trigger at 11.51. We can take a strike price of 11.50 or 12 bucks. Our first target is 11.81. Okay? So you can buy common shares here at 11.51 and look for your target here, or you can buy options. I wouldn't recommend buying common shares to the downside, but options, you can take them either way. So can we call this a hammer candle? Nah, it's pretty close. A hammer candle just means it's an actionable signal when we're talking about this strategy, but we do have a 2 down that finished green. You can say, yes, we have a hammer candle, and yes, you can say we've got full time frame continuity to the upside, meaning this is a high probability trade. So we can look for NEO to trend back to the upside. We'll go to Procter & Gamble. I'm going to move through these a little bit quicker now. Procter & Gamble had a 2 up that finished red. And this is a shooter candle, also an actionable signal. So it's the opposite of a hammer candle. The hammer candle, we have the big body up at the top with a big long wick down to the bottom. This one's a shooter candle or an inverse hammer, where we have the body at the bottom and a big long wick to the top. We also have full time frame continuity to the downside. So we have 3 items in our favor. Okay, we have the shooter candle, which is an actionable signal. We have our time frame continuity, and we have a 2 up that finished red. So we're going to look for puts here at 150.40 as our trigger price, first target at 149.42. We move on to XLU. XLU has the same thing. 2 up, finished red, shooter candle. We look for puts at $71.11 and a first target at $70.81. And again, I'm going to tell you guys, if this stuff helps you out, make sure you guys are giving me a thumbs up. And you can subscribe down below and hit the bell. The bell will send you notifications for when I send out videos like this one, or when I send out review videos, or when I send out learning tool videos. 350 videos already on this channel. I think I have 450 actually, to really help you guys out. Watch lists, what a time frame continuity is, what a 1-2-2 reversal is, a 2-2 reversal, how to draw broadening formations, all that kind of good stuff is all within this channel. So BBBY has a 2 down that finished green. Okay, so there's our 2-2 reversal. We have time frame continuity on our side, and this is actually a 1-2-2 reversal. It's called a 1-2-2 Rev Strat. Realistically, it's just a 2-2 reversal, but there is this 1 bar preceding it. So a 1-2-2 reversal back to the upside. We can look for calls at 448, or you can buy those common shares at 448 once we pass this trigger line, okay? I don't want you guys buying it before because that's front running and that's guessing. I want it to actually break that trigger point. And here's the thing. If we open above any of these trigger guys anywhere, there's a video at the end of this one, okay? The video at the end is how to play the gaps. So the gaps meaning when we open in the morning, if the candlestick opens, give me a second here. If the candlestick opens like this, that's a gap play, okay? Because we opened above the trigger. So when we have that, I have a very simple strategy on how to play those gaps. That's at the end of this video. I'm also going to put a time frame continuity video at the end so you guys can actually really learn how time frame continuity works. So that's Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll move on to Beyond Meat, BYND. Same thing, 2 down, finish green. We'll look for calls at $15.88 and good magnitude up to the upside at $17.28. Disney has a 2 up that finished red. So again, there's that reversal, a 1-2-2 rev strat because of the inside bar here. We'll look for puts at 99 bucks even, and we have the first 2 targets marked out for you guys on Disney. We'll move on to IBM, 2 up, finished red. Time frame across the first 3 are red, so we can look for puts at 145.01, first target at 144.01, a full dollar move there. And again, someone in the room, same guy asked, he was talking about triggers. RT50, he's part of the Griswold Gold membership, asked about plays that don't hit targets. Guys, you don't have to hit the targets to be in a successful trade. You could hit halfway, but what you need to do is you set your triggers and your targets on these high time frames, and then hop down to a 5, a 15, or a 30, and manage the trade from there. So when the candlesticks reverse on there, then you can get out of the trade. And you might only hit halfway. You might only hit 144.50, but that's still a successful trade. But the candles reversed on you, you can get out of the trade. We'll move on to Keurig Dr. Pepper, 2 up, finished red. So we'll look for puts on KDP, 35.65, first target at 35.35. And you notice this pink line down here, that is our trigger to go 2 down on the week. I want to see if that's still actually what we have here. It is. So here's our previous weekly candle. So we are looking to go 2 down on the week on our second target. So that may not happen tomorrow. It might not, but we can look for this to trend back to the downside. And that purple line is the 3-month chart. And the 3-month chart, looks like we've already gone 2 down on the month, or sorry, on the 3/4, on the 3-month chart. So we'll look to see if we can continue that trend to go down on KDP. Coca-Cola, another pop company, 2 up, finished red. This is a hammer candle. We've got full time frame on our side. We're going to look for puts at 61.56. And guys, you notice this target right here. Normally that target is at the bottom of the candle when we're trending to the downside. Today, it's at the top of the candle because we have this gap, meaning between this candle and this candle. See how there's no gaps in between these candles? This one has a gap. And so when we have that, we need to fill that gap. And so that becomes our first target. Our second target then becomes the bottom of the candle. We're going to look for Coca-Cola to continue its downtrend. This could almost be like a TTO. We come up and trend back down through here, and it's a TTO, and we're out. Triangle they out is what they stand for. That's a Rob Smithism. 2 up, finished red for Micron Technologies, MU, and a shooter candle. So we'll look for puts at 56.55 and 56.12 as a first target. Guys, if you want different information, if you're looking for different stuff, leave comments down below or get a hold of me on the Discord, or you can DM me on Twitter or get a hold of me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Let me know what you guys want to see on these videos, because essentially I'm doing these videos for you guys to help you guys out to become better traders. We'll move on to XOM, 2 up, finished red, 122 rev strat, puts at 112.67. Amazon, 2 up red. So again, we'll look for puts here at 95.73, and let's mark out this target because I don't have it on there. We'll change it to green. My targets are always in green. And that first target is marked out at 94.18. Alibaba, BABA, inside bar. Let's talk about the inside bars, guys. Anybody who's followed me for any amount of time knows that I would tell newcomers or struggling traders, or even if myself, I love the inside bars because the inside bars show consolidation. They show a tightening range. And when you see these inside bars painted yellow with the indicator that I've created, I want you guys to think of that as a spring. And when you tighten a spring, compact a spring, like on a shock on a car or a jack in the box, and you release that spring, well, what you're looking for is an explosion to one side or the other, because that's what happens when you load a spring. So this consolidates. It doesn't break the high or the low of the previous candle. And we can go back and look. We triggered and we hit targets. Okay, and if we go back and look at previous inside bars, we get, look at this, off of this triple 3-day consolidation, this big, huge run off of Alibaba. And they don't always work, and that's why I like to go back. But you look at this one. This one had a beautiful run. This one had a big run. This one did not, and they don't always work, and that's fine because it's based off of probabilities. But the inside bars tell us that very, very high probability chance of this running up and hitting targets to either side and having a nice run. So calls at 117.01, puts at 114.34, targets are marked out. And again, guys, if you're new, if you're struggling, I would concentrate on looking at just the inside bars. And from there you can move on to the different types of setups on the strat. But look and concentrate on those inside bars, okay, on all time frames. That's what I would be looking for to really advance you guys in your trading. So here's another setup, an inside bar, but it's preceded by an outside bar, and it's also painted with this gold highlight. That's also part of my indicator. It gives you those 3-1 setups with the gold. So here's a 3-1, and again, we had this huge run off of this 3-1 setup, multiple days of a run. And here's another one. We triggered, we hit targets, and another big run. So these don't happen very often. It's a very, very rare setup, a rare pattern. And when we get them, it's something that we should actually really look at and take notice of. And again, it's essentially just an inside bar, but it's preceded by an outside bar. So we're going to look for these big, big runs. We've got the targets marked out. We can look for calls at 34.83 or puts at 34.15. We move on to CVS. CVS, 2 up red, full time frame continuity. It's a failed 2. We're going to look for puts at 89.11, first target at 88.51. XLV with the inside bar. Let's mark out the targets for you guys. The bottom one, 134.04, good magnitude. Less magnitude back to the upside if we take the 135.61 trigger, but we do have full time frame continuity to the downside on XLV. We move on to Uber, 2 up, finish red, so we can look for puts here on Uber at 28.96 and the first target at 28.66. Target, TGT, 2 up, finish red, failed 2. Let's look for puts on this thing at 162.07, and we can mark first targets out together at 159.13 on target. Starbucks, 2 up, red, so we can look for the puts at 106.31. 2 targets marked out for you guys there. Low of the next preceding wick, low of the next preceding wick. This is where the next one would go. Okay, that's on Starbucks. Oracle. Oracle with this 3-1 setup, we are really close. This orange candle, guys, tells me that we are looking to go 2 up off of this inside bar, and we are very, very close to doing that on Oracle. So if we trigger, we are likely to hit, I have to go all the way back, but our second target is the opportunity to go 2 up on the year on Oracle. So look for Oracle to go 2 up on the year, and we can take triggers at 89.44. This could turn into a longer term play potentially if that actually happens. Inside bar on Novax, NVAX, calls at 12.65, puts at 11.81. We'll move on to Nike with the inside bar on Nike. Calls at 129.05, puts at 127.83. First target there, not great. First target to the bottom is much better, but we do have time frame continuity to the upside in our favor. From Nike, let's go to Lucid. LCID, 2 up red, failed 2, puts at 7.92, first target at 7.75 on LCID. JP Morgan, this nice 3-1 setup here, good magnitude on both ends of it. And again, if we go to look at the last time we had a 3-1 setup, actually turned to a double inside bar. And then the one preceding that, we have to go, and this is what I mean, guys. They don't happen very often. This is back in May of 22, 3-1 setup, and it gapped down here. But it had a really, really nice run to the downside, to the bottom of this broadening formation. So again, really, really high probability trades that end up usually springboarding off of this inside bar to good profits. Etsy 2 up red, not quite a shooter candle. That this wick has to be a little longer or this body has to be a little smaller, but we're pretty close. Puts at 132.50 in the first 2 targets marked out for us on Etsy. Guys, that's the video. Make sure you stay tuned. Look at that time frame continuity video. Look at the gap video if you don't know how to play the gaps. Okay? Good luck trading on Wednesday, guys. I wish you nothing but the best. Join me in the Discord. Get on there. Let's learn and earn together. Take advantage of this free TradingView 30-day trial. Join me on Twitter as well. You can follow me there. And we will see you guys all on the next one. Bye-bye.